Joining me live is Liberal Senator Holly Hughes and Labor MP Matt Thistlethwaite. Good to see you both. Thanks so much for coming in. First to you, Matt. So the aged care sector getting a massive boost in the budget, $11.3 billion. No one is doubting that this is a massive figure and a huge increase for them. But 15%, that is what the Fair Work Commission told the government to fine for those workers 5 months ago. So really, it's not going above and beyond. It's just saying what the Fair Work Commission said they had to do.
Well, this is delivering another election commitment, Kenny. The Royal Commission into aged care under the previous government recommended a substantial wage increase for aged care workers. These are the heroes of the recent pandemic when all of us were staying at home. The aged care workers were looking after some of the most vulnerable Australians. We believe that they do deserve a wage rise. The Fair Work Commission has awarded a 15% increase, and we will fund that to ensure that aged care workers get the wages and conditions that they deserve. It'll also hopefully stop the exodus that we've seen in that industry of workers leaving for other jobs because they could earn more money in other areas. This is one of the most important sectors in the economy, and we want to make sure that we restore integrity and good wages to that industry.
Holly, just specifically on aged care, does the government have the balance right in the budget this time around?
Well, they've got this wage increase, which I think we can all agree is a good thing and is it doing what the Fair Work Commission said it should be done. But it is at the same time backflipping on another election promise to provide every aged care home with a registered nurse, which we warned at the time was going to lead to closures of aged care facilities, which is exactly what's happening. So we now have the minister spending over $400,000 trying to work out through consultants how to backtrack from that election promise. So I think while we're looking over here at a wage increase, we're also looking at broken election promises over on the other hand.
Okay, the other big factor this morning is energy. Energy Minister Chris Bowen has defended the delays in Snowy Hydro 2.0. It's going to be quite a number of years late. We just had the Liddell coal-fired power station close. Eraring is going to be closed August 2025 unless the New South Wales government steps in to meet this. There's fears of a shortfall now. I think the Australian Energy Market Operator was forecasting a energy reliability gap of 262 megawatts when Eraring closes, if it does. Matt, is the government going to struggle to meet these 43% emissions reduction targets and potential for an energy shortfall?
We believe that we've got the balance right with the policies that we took to the election that we're now implementing. They include the safeguard mechanism, which is, of course, a policy that was introduced by the previous Liberal government that we've decided to accept. It's a shame that Snowy Hydro is delayed. I think some of that relates to the fact that the previous government really wasn't interested in boosting renewables in the energy mix, and we had a bit of an investment shortfall when it came to that transition to renewable energy that other countries have been making. So we're now trying to make up time for that, and there are bottlenecks in the system, but we're confident that they will iron out, and we'll make sure that we make a smooth transition to more renewables in our system, but maintaining that energy security that Australians know is vital.
The transition to a new energy future was always going to be shaky, but Holly, the Northern Territory government has announced that they're going to allow fracking for gas in the Beetaloo Basin. Can we today confidently say that we're on track for the 43% emissions reduction target?
I don't think so at all, and I think Energy Minister Chris Bowen needs to come clean and start to admit that a transition to renewable energy, it was never going to be easy, was never going to be quick, and was never going to be cheap. They are selling the Australian people a pup every time they say that renewable energy is the cheapest form of energy. It's not. And everything that needs to be done in upgrading of the grid to actually get these renewables into the system anyway is going to be incredibly expensive. We do need to ensure that Eraring is extended in its life cycle, that we need that coal-fired baseload power to be there to ensure that we don't have blackouts. We've already got rising power prices. This is just going to make them worse. But we need to also look, the Labor government came in absolutely distorting the current Kurri gas plant with green hydrogen, delaying it by over a year. Those sort of projects that are going to put 660 megawatts into the system need to be fast-tracked and looked at much more sensibly.
We're running out of time, but Matt, I just want to ask you one more thing. Anthony Albanese in the UK at the moment for the King's coronation. He met with King Charles and he says he's going to pledge allegiance to the King. Does that mean that we might stay with the monarchy or push ahead with a republic?
Well, of course, the Prime Minister has indicated that he will do what all politicians do when we first come into the Parliament, and that is swear allegiance to the monarch. Holly and I did that last year after the election. It makes sense that the Prime Minister is going to reiterate that. Look, our priority at the moment, of course, is the voice to Parliament, but the government does have a longer-term vision for Australia as a mature, independent nation with one of our own as our head of state, recognising a unique identity and culture as a nation and hopefully engaging more Australians around our constitution and improving our democracy. So that's a longer term vision. At the moment, the priority, of course, is the voice to Parliament this year.
Yeah, the Republic's certainly on the back burner at the moment, Holly.
Look, I'm disappointed to hear that the voice is the government's priority. I would have thought this cost of living crisis should have been the government's priority over and above anything else at the moment. When I swear my allegiance to the monarchy, I actually believe that I am a monarchist and support it. And so I'll be very happy to see the King coronated on Saturday night. I think it's going to be a wonderful spectacle for everyone to see.
Yep, absolutely. Holly Hughes and Matt Thistlethwaite, thanks so much for joining us on First Agenda this morning.
Thanks, Kenny. See you, Matt.